Hello, welcome friends and fellow adventurers. Thank you for joining me once again back at this table. And as always, I'm just gonna jump right into it and pick up where we stopped, which was as Sky and Krog and Kiba, of course, had entered this new room that we found. We learned that it was some type of audience chamber or perhaps some type of office room. We're not sure what its original purpose was, but we do know now that as they kind of got into this room and began to look around, that a plague zombie was beginning to stand up in the corner. Now we know on the meta side that this was one of the former parties that was sent down here to find this relic, which is the same reason we are down here. So let's just jump straight into the combat, because I don't think that this zombie is surprising them by any means. I'm thinking maybe Kiba was just kind of traipsing around and he was like kind of smelling around this area when all of a sudden this, what they assumed was just a lump of garbage in the corner, starts rising up. Kiba is going to jump back, and we're going to begin our initiative. Alright, there we go. Now, I'm just going to keep their initiative simple. I'm not going to necessarily do it the exact way that Pathfinder wants us to. It's just a lot of extra number adding, and I'm doing this solo, so really I'm not going to be hurt if the monster ends up going first. And plus, technically there's 4 of us and only 1 of him, so he's kind of at a disadvantage anyway. However, I am going to roll 3 dice. 1 for me, or 1 for Krog, 1 for Sky, and 1 for the zombie. And then I will just throw Malgarius in wherever, and of course Kiba will act on Sky's turn. So how it lands, Krog is dead last, followed by a 2 with the plague zombie. Okay, 2 for the zombie, 1 for Krog. Poor little Krog. Okay, Kiba goes on Sky's turn, and Sky got a whopping 20. So with that, I'm gonna throw Malgarius in right after the plague zombie. So whoops, got that backwards. All right, so Sky is going to take the lead, and this is my first time running Sky, and it's actually my first time running any type of combat using an animal companion, so let's start out with that. Now, in Pathfinder, to give commands to your animal companion, you need to spend one of your actions to command, and after you use your 1 action to command them, that gives them 2 actions to use on their turn. So with that, I think Sky is going to say, Kiba, attack! Really simple, right? Nothing fancy there. But she probably has like some type of word that she would use in a druidic language, or perhaps she can kind of more or less speak Kiba's language. Regardless, we're going to give 2 actions to Kiba, and with those 2 actions, Kiba is going to move up. Boom. He has hella speed too. Let's see, what does he have? Yeah, Kiba has 50 feet of speed, which is like twice that of just like a normal 25-foot speed creature like a human or what have you. So anyway, he's just going to use his first action to move up, and he's going to use his second action to attack. And let's just do a simple bite. So he's just going to dash up to this zombie, and he is going to bite at him. So Kiba has a +6, and the plague zombie has an AC of 13. Okay, that's pretty low, but he does have a decent amount of hit points. He has 50 hit points. Alright, so Kiba with his +6, he is biting. Hell yeah. Okay, so that's gonna be a 24 total, which in Pathfinder, again, if nobody's that familiar with Pathfinder rules, if you roll a 20, that is it grants you one higher success than you would have gotten just by the static numbers. But also, if you achieve 10 or higher above whatever the DC is that you're rolling against, in this case I did, then that is also a critical success. So Kiba gets to do double damage to this zombie. Now let's check to see if it has any weaknesses. It has a weakness to slashing, but I believe the bite is just going to be piercing. Yeah, so we actually get to roll 1d8 plus 2, and then we will double that. So Kiba, lunging forward, racing towards this zombie, lands his little teethed beak onto the zombie. So we got a 3, and that's going to be a plus 2. So that's going to be double that is going to be 10 points of damage, which is awesome. That's a good chunk already. And let's just roll our fancy little die to see. Right in the head. Yes, good job, Kiba. Again, just the way I've kind of been doing it back when I played Zargo's Tale in my previous videos, if it comes up a headshot, even if it comes up on me, I'm going to play it fairly. It's just going to be 1 extra point of damage. And I don't think that I'm going to double that for criticals. So all day, that's going to be 11 points of damage to the zombie. Perfect. Good job, Kiba. Okay, so now that was all of Kiba's actions, but Sky still has 2 actions remaining, and I believe now let's ask the fate chart, because I'm gonna say it's actually probably unlikely. Still a chaos factor 4, unlikely. Was Sky, did she have her spear and her shield like already equipped? I'm thinking that's unlikely because they're just kind of walking around, but granted that this is a dangerous area, and they know that they're expecting danger. So actually, I'll say it's 50-50. So I'll say 50-50. Does Sky have her spear and shield equipped? 97 extreme no, she does not. So not only does she not have them equipped, then I asked, so I think she has them like tucked up behind her, so it's going to take her next 2 actions. So this whole turn is gone for her, but she will have her spear equipped and her shield in the other hand. Alright, so that took care of Sky. Next we got the plague zombie. Ooh, I didn't think this through. Now Kiba is really the last creature that hit the zombie, and also the only creature within reach. So the plague zombie is going to... Damn, I didn't think about that. Sorry, Kiba. I will keep this in mind going forward. I'm not going to just throw him into harm's way. But that being said, Sky does have a pretty good way of healing. She has Heal Animal, which I was looking it over, and it's a very powerful skill. She can just do it costs 1 focus point, but in Pathfinder you can get a focus point back after you use it just by spending 10 minutes basically to refocus, or that's praying to a god that you worship, or in Sky's case that would probably be just communing with nature, or praying to her god Arasto, of course. So within 10 minutes she'll get that back. So if she needs, she can just constantly heal him, but it only works on a living animal, so she can't use that on Krog, even though he's basically a chimpanzee. I'm gonna kind of roll with the rules as written with that. Anyway, that being said, we need to play out Kiba being hit. Now what is Kiba's AC? Kiba has a 16 AC. Plague zombie, he's already standing, so his first action is just going to be to strike back at this Dromaeosaur that just bit his face off, basically. Alright, and his only attack is a fist attack with a +9. So again, Plague Zombie, he's going to attack at Kiba with his +9. Ooh, that's a pretty big plus. Shit, okay, that's a 19 +9, that's a 28, which is a critical success all in its own. That sucks. So he's trading a critical blow for a critical blow. And that's going to be 1d8, so it's going to be double damage, of course. 1d8 plus 4 bludgeoning. Oh, minimum damage. Nice. Okay, I'll take that. But that is still doubled 10 points of damage. Now let's roll to see where. Right in the torso. Kiba is quick, but he was not quick enough to dodge this just very clumsily thrown punch from this plague zombie. Dealing 10 damage to poor little Kiba. Okay. Ooh, 10 damage. That took him all the way down to 4 hit points. Oh, Kiba got hurt bad immediately. I don't like this. I don't like this, Kiba. But don't worry, Sky has stabilized and heal animal, so even if he goes down, he is not leaving this world. I will see to it. Alright, and with the rules of Pathfinder, for the plague zombie, he has a grab listed next to his melee attack. So that means the zombie can spend its next action to attempt to grapple Kiba. So basically, he hit it and he can attempt to basically grab Kiba, but I'm not really certain why he would want to do that or if he would even need to. So I'm going to ask the fate chart. 50-50. Chaos factor 4. Does the zombie try to grab Kiba? 35. Ooh, right on the dot. That's a yes. He does. Okay. So whether he kind of is meaning to or not, the zombie is going to attempt to grab Kiba. So that means he's going to roll his athletics against Kiba's fortitude. So that's going to be a DC of 15. It's a DC 15 athletics check, and apparently this plague zombie has a +9 athletics. That seems a little extreme to me, but that's what it says. So DC 15 with a +9 modifier. And that's a 17. So he succeeds at grabbing Kiba. So that is effectively going to prevent Kiba. It makes Kiba off guard, so he's going to have a -2 to his AC, and also he can't take any move actions until he frees himself. Alright, and for Kiba to free himself, if our party doesn't defeat this zombie first, he is going to have to make an athletics or an acrobatics check against the zombie's athletics DC. So this is where a lot of the crunch of Pathfinder comes into play. I'm going to play it loosely, but I'm going to also try to play it as written. So the plague zombie is also permanently slowed, so he only gets 2 actions per turn. Now Garius is up, but he is kind of boxed out of the room right now. So I'm gonna say that he is attempting to get in the doorway, but he's kind of stumbling over Krog currently, which brings us to Krog's turn. Now Krog sees what is happening. He sees Kiba rushed up to this zombie who had just stood up. Krog watched it happen. Kiba bit this zombie right in the face, biting down on its body. Ooh, that in mind, I don't want to keep going back at Kiba, but he did get hit, so he has to make a saving throw. He has to make a fortitude saving throw because the zombie has a disease called zombie rot. Now, when you get hit, you are subjected to the zombie rot. So I'm thinking as Kiba bit onto the face of this zombie, he kind of like popped one of the pustules that makes him the plague zombie. And the disease is now attempting to course its way through Kiba's system, but Kiba gets to make a fortitude saving throw. Unfortunately, that's a DC 18, which is pretty steep. So with a +5 and a DC 18, no, of course, why? Why? Why would anything good happen to my party? It doesn't make sense. The dice hate me. Anyway, a 2 and a 5 is a 7, which is a critical failure, meaning Kiba is probably going to fall unconscious. That is ridiculous. Not even one round has gone by and Kiba is already unconscious from this zombie. That bumps him up to stage 2 immediately, so... Hold on, let me check. Can't heal damage it takes from zombie rot until it has been cured of the disease, so... Kiba can't even be healed right now. This is ridiculous. What did I put myself into? The first room of the first real combat, and we are already hit a brick wall. Thanks, rules. Alright, well, Kiba's gonna take 1d6 void damage, because he got bumped up immediately to stage 2. But he won't be taking any more damage until the next day, but he's not gonna be able to heal until he is cured of the disease. So, Kiba with the 4 hit points, taking the 1d6. Alright, only 1 point of damage, thankfully. So he is not unconscious, but he is down to 3 points. I wish I would have just forgot about that, but... So he is sick. Let's give him a little... Yeah, there we go, okay. Anyway, back to Krog's turn. Krog sees this, he sees Kiba get bit, or sees Kiba do the biting, and then he sees Kiba get hit. So he's going to use his first action to instantly jump up to the zombie, and he's going to use his second action to use Flurry of Blows, because he is angry seeing his... Well, he doesn't really have an emotional connection to Kiba yet, but perhaps they will grow fond of each other. So Krog with his first blow, his first punch, a 9 and a 7. That is going to be a 16 to hit, which I believe hits. Yes, it does. Dealing 1d6, and that's going to be a +4. So 2 + 4, that's going to be 6 points of damage. Let's go ahead and mark that off. And then his second attack with a -4. Ooh, that's going to be a 19 on the die. And then that's going to still be a +3. After the -4. Ooh, a 22. That was just one shy of being a critical. Alright, another d6 as a 5 + 4 is going to be 9 more points of damage. Ooh, yes, Krog feeling confident. He's going to use his third action, and he's going to... He's going to take one more punch at this thing. Nice, 17. That's with the -1 is going to be a 16, so this is another hit. And another 9 points of damage. Perfect. Okay, he is down to 15. Now, Kiba is up, and he is still conscious. I guess Kiba's not up. Technically, Sky is up. What is Sky gonna do? I don't think... I feel like it'd be obvious she's not going to give a command to Kiba because she sees that he's in danger. Her first action is she's going to move up And honestly, I already kind of forgot that she's a spellcaster, so I could have just casted a spell last turn, and I didn't. I did say that she equipped her spear and her shield, so she's going to run up to this zombie, anger in her eyes from seeing Kiba take damage. She is mad, so she is going to strike at this zombie. So she has a +6 with her spear. Eight plus 6 is going to be a 14, and that is a hit. I was going to use a hero point if that didn't hit, but it did. So, and she gets a 1d6 plus 3 for her strength. Nice. With her anger, she rolls max damage on that roll. So that is going to be 9 more points of damage to this zombie, and it is just about done. 6 more points. Sky is going to use her last action because she moved and she attacked. She has 1 more action. She's going to thrust again with her spear. This time it's only going to be a +1, and that is only going to be a 10. I tell you what though, she doesn't want this creature, so she's going to use her hero point. I'm just going to say she has 1 hero point, and she's going to use it. I'm just going to use my own pool of hero points. I'm going to allow myself... I'll just give myself 1 per session, really. I don't want to overdo it. But she is going to use hers this time. So she's still... Second attack of her turn, an 8 and a 9. Dang it. That's what I get for doing that. But she tried. She tried her hardest. Alright, that was her turn, meaning the plague zombie is up. It has Kiba grabbed. I don't want to do this, but it just really makes the most sense. If the zombie has Kiba grabbed, I'll ask the fate chart, but I'm going to make it likely. Is the zombie going to just continue to attack Kiba, even though it was getting hit by everything else? 58, that makes it a no. Thank you, fate chart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, so being stabbed and poked and punched by the other creatures in his domain here, the zombie uses a free action to drop things. So he just drops Kiba, or she, we don't know if the zombie's a boy or girl. They just drop Kiba on the ground, and it turns to face, I'm going to say Sky, since Sky inflicted the last instance of damage to it. So he's going to turn to Sky, and with his first action, first attack, he's going to strike at Sky. And of course, he rolls an extremely high number because it's the enemy and it's my game, and that's just apparently how things work here on Rolling Solo RPG. So, an 18 plus 9 is going to be a 27, which of course, let me guess, is that a critical? No, it is not. Yes! For some reason, Sky has a really good AC, so it is just a normal hit. But unfortunately, that means it's going to be a D8 of damage plus 4, so it's going to be 6 points of damage. Alright, so she took her damage. And the zombie is going to attempt to grab her as well. Her fortitude is only a plus 4. And the zombie has a plus 9. Well, an 18. Is this dice weighted? What the real F is happening? So he succeeds at grabbing Sky. Now that was both of his actions. Next up is Malgarius's turn. Malgarius runs in the room with his first action. He kind of runs around the edges trying to find a way to get in here, but he cannot. So his first action, I'm going to say, is he's just kind of running around the room. His second action, he's going to interact with picking up some type of rubble from under his feet, some like rock laying on the ground or a chunk of wood or something, and he's going to use his third action to attempt to throw it at this zombie. Now we kind of already established that Malgarius probably sucks. But I am going to give him a +8 for this attack, but since he's throwing through his allies, it's going to be a -1. So he has a +7 for this. I'm going to use the blue die for him. So he has a +7 to hit this chunk of wood. Oh, nice. Good job, Malgarius. 7 and a 17 is a 24, if I'm not mistaken, which is a critical hit. Good job, Malgarius. And I'm just going to say it's probably just a D4, unfortunately, for the damage there. Again, I hate rolling these little diamond-shaped, triangle-shaped dice. I just absolutely hate them. I don't know why. If it's because they just don't feel right in my hand, I think is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna roll a d8, cut it in half, and then double it, I guess. But anyway, and I'm just gonna give him a plus. The stats here say, I'd say he's probably a level 0, so I'll give him a +2 for his. All right, so 2 and a 2. We'll just leave it at that. Well, cut it in half, a 1 and a 2. Would be 3, doubled would be 6. So what do you know? Actually, that actually works out perfectly. Good job, Malgarius. I was thinking he was just gonna be kind of a chump coming in here, but he ended that fight. He's kind of like peeking over his friends there. He sees what's happening. He's angry too. He doesn't know Kiba, but he does. As I say that out loud, Malgarius does know Kiba because Sky is part of the monastery, and so he probably does have a really close relationship with Kiba. So he was mad too. He just reached down on the ground, grabbed a rock, and he chucked it past Sky and Krog's head, and he just thunked that zombie right. Where did he hit? Right in the left leg, apparently. So his aim's not that good, but he had good intentions in his heart, and he threw the rock so hard that it knocked the zombie off balance, and the zombie kind of like teeters for a second, and he falls and crashes onto some of the broken debris, and a shard of wood from one of the broken crates just pierces through the chin of the zombie, and he kind of wriggles and writhes for a second, and then all the motion from his body just stops, and he lies dead on the ground. Okay, battle over. I'm gonna stop the video there too. Kiba, poor guy, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be more cautious of how I use you in the future. I totally have myself to blame in this. It's not Sky's fault, it's mine. So Kiba, he's kind of like dragging his leg behind him. He has blood coming out from his torso. Sky attempts to heal him in the way that she normally does, but something is wrong. Her power is being rejected. Her magical healing is being rejected, and Kiba is not healing, and she is very worried. So we're going to deal with that in our next episode. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through that. I'm going to try to cut out as much as I can, just a lot of me going back and forth with the rules. And that combat was a little more complicated than it needed to be with the grabs and the saving throws and everything, but I did that more for myself because I need to refresh myself on kind of how all those things work. So thank you guys so much for watching if you did, and as always, thank you and have a wonderful day.